Hello, church. It's Pastor Mike. I wonder often if we think about what it means when we ask for God's blessing or God's favor in our lives. Sometimes we can use those words and we just assume it means good things. We assume that it means something positive, but we don't always think about what it is, what it feels like, or what it means for our day to day life. I was thinking of this because in our worship service yesterday, part of what we did was read Psalm 90. And in Psalm 90, verse 17, the psalmist asks, he says, "May the favor of the Lord our God rest on us." But then he goes on to describe just a brief little inkling of what that blessing and favor look like. And the psalmist said this, that favor of the Lord resting on the people would mean that God is establishing the work of our hands. And that word for establish means to make strong, to confirm the work of our hands. And I think often that's what we want to be in this world and as the church. We don't just want to receive God's gifts for us, but we want to feel confirmed and affirmed in the choices we're making that the life we're living is glorifying to God, is good. And I love this idea that the favor that God shows us isn't just success as we might think of it. It's not just saying, I want whatever I do to succeed and to work out, but I want God to confirm it. I want God to establish it. So even if the returns are moderate or even meager, if they're the returns that God has given me right now, if the actions that I am putting forth into the world are established and confirmed by God as being righteous and holy in what I'm called to do, then I will celebrate every return, meager though it may be, because it is God's return to me. And I know His blessing is going to pour out so strong over that long term. My prayer for you and my prayer for me is that we would not just treat God's favor or God's blessing as some ephemeral pixie dust that God can spread over us and say, hey, you're doing great. But that we could feel the full weight, the impact, and the heaviness, the establishment and the confidence that what we do in this life matters to God. It's blessed by God, and it is set aside and made holy by our holy God. This week, I think part of our devotions are going to be discovering and trying to find a little bit more, little different avenues about that blessing of God and what it means for us. So I hope that you have a blessed week today. I hope it starts today and you see God's love, God's joy, God's mercy, and God's confirmation of your work all around you this week. God bless you today.